This is still Good Morning Abuja on the UT station, NTA Channel 5 Abuja. If you just joined, you've not really missed much because now I have my first conversation on the program. He is a security strategist. Who is that? He is Mr. Peter Olumuji. He is also a fellow of International Institute of Professional Security and also a fellow of Association of Information Management Professionals. And together we'll be talking about personal safety and security. You're welcome to the program, Mr. Peter Olumuji.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, welcome to Good Morning Abuja.
Thank you.
Okay, so how important is personal safety and security?
Well, we cannot talk about the importance of personal safety and security if we don't understand what security and insecurity entails.
Okay.
Security in the general term is freedom from fear, freedom from threats, freedom from emotional stress. And when you talk about insecurity, then you are looking at the opposite of all this, where you have threats, where you have emotional imbalance and the rest. So when you look at the importance of personal safety and security, you are talking about someone that is free from threats, threats of emotional threats, physical threats and the rest. Okay. So that is how important it is. And you look at it that it gives you more confidence as a person and gives you peace of mind. So that is what personal security and safety entails.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So how security conscious should we be as individuals and with our environment?
Yes, looking at the terminology, situational awareness, which entails that when you see something, you say something. Yeah. Now, it's not just saying something, because most of the time you can see something, but how well can you interpret what you are seeing? Okay. So it is when you are able to interpret what you are seeing and how you can react after interpreting that particular thing you've been able to see. That is where situational awareness comes in. Okay. So we must always be aware of our environment at every point in time. And the only way you can get that right is through situational awareness.
Oh, okay. So technology advancement has exposed us to safety measures. How can we harness these potentials?
Yeah, when you talk about technological advancement, it has helped in the field of security and safety, and how as this, if you look at it, you have the use of CCTV presently. Most of the time, people leave their ward at home. Yes. And we have seen where CCTV camera have been able to pinpoint threats to those children and even to events in your household. That is one part of it. Then also, when you look at it, the technological advancement also have also improved how criminal-minded people have been able to be apprehended by the use of polygraph. It's still part of technology. Okay. That's lie detector a mechanism. When somebody is denying the commission of a crime and is put through the polygraph test, and at the end of the day, he sees that he cannot really pass it, and that a criminal is being apprehended.
Okay. So how can intelligence gathering help secure society?
Yeah, intelligence gathering is the heartbeat of security, like I always tell people. There is no way you could have effective security without emplacing intelligence gathering. Okay. And that is why you see today the government is talking about community policing. The concept of community policing is gathering intelligence from the locals, because members of that community policing are members of a particular locality. You understand your environment better, and you're able to hear from the grapevine whatever is going on negatively. Then also you talk about having the citizens being part of intelligence gathering. The law enforcement agencies they don't know it all. They are not spirits. We tell people they are not spirits. But most of the time, we residing in a particular environment, we hear things, we see things. We know the bad boys among us, we know the bad girls among us. We know when something is about to go wrong. So it is our own responsibility now, when we get such information, to pass it on to the law enforcement agents. But again, I want to state here, most of the time people always say, okay, if once I've gotten this intelligence, how can I pass it on to the law enforcement agent when I cannot even trust them? Yes. And I believe if you look at recently, the Inspector General of Police have been sanctioning erring members of the law enforcement, you know, especially the police, where they misbehave, and people are able to have evidences and pass on accordingly. Now, if you know you are not too sure of the policeman at the counter you want to pass that intelligence to, you could as well ask for the divisional police officer. Every area in Nigeria is under a divisional police jurisdiction, and you have a divisional police officer that is in charge, and based on his own position, he's expected to be able to treat confidential information confidentially. So if you are not sure of the people at the counter, you could ask to see the DPO. Even when they want to stop you in seeing the DPO, it's part of your right to see the DPO. And I believe when you share intelligence with the DPO, he handles it with utmost confidentiality.
Okay. So this one is going to be like, should I say on a personal ground, like maybe you, trying to be security conscious now as personally, maybe you want to board a vehicle. What are those things you actually look out for as an individual? Because this is now you and your instincts. So what should you look out for?
Now that you have mentioned your instincts, I think most of the time people fall prey of vehicular borne crime, which we call one chance. Because I know that's the part you are talking about. Now, once your instinct tells you no, you should be able to go with your instinct. But unfortunately, most of us don't really believe on our instinct. We just believe, why, let's just go with it. So if you are boarding a commercial vehicle or private vehicle, as it may be, because it's not every time you have access to commercial vehicle at a certain point in time. Some people that close this late might not have access to commercial vehicle. It might just be private individual going somewhere else that you want to join. Work with your instinct. And always, once there's a doubt, then there's a doubt.
Okay, because why I said that was because I had an experience, I think, some months back. Like, I entered into a car, and there were two at the back and one in front. So I was like the third person. Towards the usually, if they say if someone comes out for you to enter, you say okay, it's suspicious. But now I was the only one at the door. So I didn't suspect anything. But when we just moved a bit, and then the person was like, okay, where are you going? And then I told them where I was going, and the person was like, okay, bring how much will you pay? And I told them the amount. They said okay, and then we continue going. And then someone said they wanted a drop, and I said, you the owner of that thing in the booth. Immediately I heard that, I said, I've entered. So I wouldn't have suspected, because the person in the middle was a lady, and then the other two, okay, let's say plus the driver, there were now three guys. Then let's say two of us ladies. So there was nothing to say, okay, maybe this. But immediately I heard, I the owner of that thing in the booth.
You know, it's their traditional tactics.
So things like that, I don't know. The saving grace is just to say, I want to, and that's what I did. I just said, okay, I want to come down. And then immediately, they said, the person in front said, driver, she wants to come down. And then he stopped, and when immediately I came down, he just zoomed off, and I was like, okay. So
you really believed in your instincts, and that's why you were safe. In fact, there's some times you will see an elderly woman inside the vehicle. Naturally, you believe, oh, this is an elderly person, I should not suspect anything ulterior, but it's part of it. Okay, so before we let you go now, a final message to the viewers watching. Yes. Or they want at least a final message from you, how to be security conscious and all that. Yes, the final message is that when you see something, make sure you say something. Situational awareness is you being conscious of your environment at every point in time. Don't take things at face value. Always ensure that whatever you suspect, you report accordingly. Wow, whatever you suspect, report accordingly. Thank you for coming on the program, Mr. Peter Olumuji. I'm sure we will have you, because security is everyday business and all that. So we always want you to come and give us some of those tips that would help us run the day and our lives. So we've been speaking with Mr. Peter Olumuji. He is a security strategist, and together we've been talking about our personal safety and security. We'll go on a short break, and after that, the program continues.